This battery will cost you $450 or $112 per kilowatt hour. If we compare it to similar batteries in the same category, the water comes in at $148 per kilowatt hour and the watt cycle at $142 per kilowatt hour. So that makes this battery a budget option. It comes with a 200 amp BMS. It has cold temperature protection and there's a cell fixture inside. The battery also has Bluetooth. And there's a nice display on top to check the state of charge and any error codes. EcoWorthy sent me this battery for review, but it came from an Amazon warehouse. So let's see if the claims of EcoWorthy are true, and let's test this battery and also open it up to see what's inside. I did a capacity test off camera and the battery delivered 4222 watt hours or 330 amp hours. That's 5% more than the rated 314 amp hours, so that's great. This battery has a 200 amp BMS. That means you can draw 2500 watts from this single battery. That's more than enough for a 12 volt system. My most popular video, with over 1 million views, talks about why it's not a good idea to have a 3000 watt inverter on 12 volts. So the next test will be to test the current carrying capacity of the BMS. I have two inverters here. I will apply a 200 amp load and see if the BMS can handle it for 15 minutes. So now we're drawing 195 amps and let's come back in 15 minutes to see if the BMS failed or not. It's been 17 minutes and the BMS didn't shut down, so that's great. Next, let's do the overcurrent protection test. The BMS has a surge rating of 240 amps for 10 seconds. So if you are drawing more than 240 amps, it should shut down in less than 10 seconds. I have connected the heat gun and let's turn it on. And that was about 10 seconds and we had a current of 330 amps. So the overcurrent protection works and that's great. I have been waiting for 18 minutes for the battery to recover from the overcurrent protection, but the BMS doesn't recover. We are reading 7 volts on the output. Normally, the BMS should recover by itself after a few minutes. But this one doesn't, and that's not a great sign. However, if you're not going into overcurrent protection that often, it's okay. And you can reset the BMS by removing the negative lead. And now we're having 13 volts again. So when it enters overcurrent protection, you have to remove the negative lead and connect it again manually. Let me show you how the app works. It's straightforward and simple. You just open the app and press the battery. Then you get to see your battery percentages, the voltages and the current. It also has the remaining runtime calculator and the remaining charge time calculator. In the data tab, you can see more information and the single cell voltages. That's something the lead time battery doesn't have, which is a shame. This app doesn't show the temperatures inside of the battery, which is a missed opportunity in my opinion. But there's an issue with this BMS regarding safety. Since you don't need a login, anybody who has this app can turn off the BMS. They can do this by entering storage mode. So if you click this checkbox, I have learned how to activate the battery, and you press enable, you will see the voltage drop. This function turns off the BMS to save energy from draining down the battery cells. It's a good feature, but not nice if somebody else does this to your battery. So now the BMS has disconnected and we cannot connect again. You can only wake up the BMS by pressing the button on the battery, and then the BMS will be enabled again. And we're back to having 13.3 volts. So this is a safety issue. Okay, that looks quite nice. Let's take a closer look at the battery. I like these very big terminals. To remove the compression cage from the case, you need a very long screwdriver. So I came up with this monstrosity. I can see two temperature sensors mounted on the bus bar, which is great. They have added the negative sense lead separate from the main terminal, which is also good. Everything is glued down and taped down. Let's scan the QR codes. And the cells are from Cornex, that's a good sign. And they're made in October 2025. So that's less than a year old, which is great. I really like the design of the BMS. We have a heatsink in the front and a heatsink in the back. They are 4H gauge silicone cables. That's enough to carry 200 amps. However, they are soldered. I would like to see them using screw terminals. I also like that the BMS is separate from the cells. That means if the BMS gets hot, this cell is not influenced by it, because heat will degrade a cell, and here they're separated nicely. I also like the cage. It's a proper compression cage. Let's do the low temperature disconnect test. I've removed the lug from the balance lead position, and I will now apply a cold pack. I have added another thermocouple on the meter here. We are now charging with 1.5 amps. And we are at 0 degrees. And when we were at -7 degrees, the charging stopped. So I took a look at the computer about the specifications about it, and it only turns off when it's -7 degrees or 19.4 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not a good thing. These cells can be freezing, and if it is charging, it will damage the battery cells, so that's not good. There's a problem with the balancing. It only balances when it's charging. Let me show you. So I added a current meter, and I added a small resistor in between the BMS and the cell. As you can see, cell 4 is high, and that's this cell. I'll put it down here. So it's balancing for 5 seconds, and then it's turning off again, and that's great. But when I remove the charging source, it stops balancing. So we have not balancing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop balancing, 2, 3, 4, 5, start balancing. And that's the cycle. So the resistors don't get hot. That's normal. But let's now remove the power source. And we just start balancing and it stopped. Now if we wait 5 seconds, it does not balance. So the battery is only balancing when there is a charge applied, and that's not good. I made a whole video about this topic. Let's see if it balances again when I apply the charge. And it starts to balance again. So that's quite disappointing. So let's recap this review. It delivered 330 amp hours, 5% more than it's rated for. That's great. It delivered 200 amps continuous. That's great to see. And the overcurrent protection tripped when it was over 240 amps. I really like the design. The cell fixture is great. And it's a very good price at $450. However, there are 3 issues. The first is the app safety issue. Somebody else, intentionally or unintentionally, can disable the BMS on the battery. Second is the -7 degree low temperature protection. They should set it at 0 degrees Celsius. And the third is that it only balances when it's charging. So I will send this part of the video to EcoWorthy for a response. I've been on a motorcycle adventure for a few days, and this is EcoWorthy's response. Regarding the app safety, they told me they didn't want to use a login because users don't want it. And that's fine, as long as you cannot disable the battery remotely through the app. There's already people reporting this has happened. Look at this comment. So I suggest EcoWorthy to remove the storage option in the Bluetooth app, but keep the storage mode, but activate it by pressing the on-off button for 5 seconds. And the second one is the low temperature cutoff. They say it's their way of reducing frequent tripping of the BMS during low temperatures. And after testing, they settled to -7 degrees Celsius or 19.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So what they are doing is building in more headroom for the battery to charge when it's frozen. And I don't agree on this practice. And the third issue was regarding the balancing when only charging. They said it's their current balancing strategy. I'm not going to repeat myself because I made a whole video explaining why that's a bad idea. So the hardware of this battery is great, but the software can use some work. And going from their responses, I doubt they are going to change the software. So that means I have not found a good high capacity 12 volt battery yet. So I will put this battery on my caution list. Do you want to see the batteries I actually recommend? You can go to the first link in the description. The batteries are sorted by category and the reasons why I do or do not recommend them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.